Welcome back to AOPB Roundup. Ryan's back after a weekend at the beach. It was a long one. I'm not really a beach person, but while I was sitting there drinking a zillion beers, getting a tan that I can only describe as Neapolitan ice cream on my thigh, just tan, cooked red, and white as can be. Not to mention, my wife picked up an amazing looking racing stripe on the right side of her leg. Full coverage is important on suntan lotion, y'all. But while we were sitting there on the beach, the boys were getting after it in the Atlantic League, man. It was a good one. We're going to hop right on into it, but not before first I pass on an important message, which is sand is the worst. We need to get rid of it. That's right. Pave the beaches. I don't want to hear the environmental side of things. We're solving beach erosion. What happens with the surfers? I don't care. Stop surfing. Start sitting, or you're going to land on pavement. I'm over it. Will they get hurt on the pavement? I don't care. The sand hurts my booty when it gets there. Anyway, we're going to open the weekend recap on Long Island, where the Ducks welcomed the Revolution to town, looking to protect a 1.5 game lead over the Blue Crabs in the North Division. York looked to keep pace with Long Island, entering just 4.5 behind as they come down the stretch here in the first half. Game 1 saw a pitcher's duel between Austin Nicely and Brendan Feldman. Nicely took the loss but allowed no earned runs in 7 innings. Feldman tossed 6 shutout innings. York's defensive issues continue as they commit 3 of the 8 errors that they would have in the series. By far the league's worst defense right now. Unearned run in the first inning would be the only score of the game, so it cost them bad. Ducks win 1-0 in Game 1, and they would only open the gap as this series continued through the weekend, winning Game 2 7-2, winning Game 3 15-7. The Ducks chased Jake Welch after his 3 innings and 8 earned runs in that last one. The Ducks sweep, pushing York 7.5 games back, which will all but end their hopes for the first half. Ducks have won 6 in a row. On to Lancaster, where Southern Maryland was taking on the Barnstormers. The Blue Crabs are trying to keep up with the Ducks after losing 2 straight to the Legends during the week. Lancaster looked to keep pace as well, only 3.5 games behind the Ducks themselves. We saw 3 very normal games, at least as far as scoring goes, in Lancaster. 5-4 Barnstormers winning Game 1, 4-1 Blue Crabs in a game that was shortened by rain for Game 2. Game 2 is a certified slop fest, by the way. Go check it out on Instagram, just like the Clipper magazine slip and slide. The Barnstormers got it on Insta. It was a mess. Lancaster would take the rubber match on Sunday, 5-3. Augie Silk, big ups to Augie Silk, getting it done. Throw 6 shutout innings. He's got like a 6 ERA or something like that right now, but mark my words, if this kid was on Lexington, he'd have like a sub-4 ERA right now. The kid knows how to deliver. Yeah, he'll walk guys, but he's dealing with the Clipper magazine stadium situation, which is allegedly fine. Allegedly, it's not fine. But he can deliver. He knows how to get out of jams. He pushes through difficult spots. I really like Augie Silk. Augie Silk one day I think could get picked up by a major league team, throw into a minor league system and see where it goes, but at the very least he should be able to hang around this league for a long time. With this series loss though, the 23-22 Blue Crabs dipped to 3.5 behind the Ducks, who sit 27-19. When the team you're battling against wins 6 straight and then you lose 4 or 5, that's when you know things are going bad. Lancaster, they're now just a game behind the Blue Crabs. They're 23-24, 4.5 behind the Ducks. They're going to need to move forward without Blake Galen for a while, as he will be playing with Team Israel in Tokyo. So shout out to Blake Galen. Dude's the best. Tough break for Lancaster. Hopefully they can hang on in the meantime. Meanwhile, in the South Division, we got to see a matchup of the Rockers and the Legends. The Rockers entered on a 3-game win streak. Lexington had won 5 straight coming into the weekend. High Point needed a big weekend as they entered 8.5 behind Lexington, which sounds insurmountable at this point in the first half. But if they were able to sweep this, they might have a shot at still, but they could not. They started out strong, taking games 1 and 2 by a score of 7-5 and 7-1. Game 2 was rain shortened as well, just like in Lancaster, but Bryce Hensley looked very good, pitched all 6 innings, 5 hits, no earned runs. High Point entered the 7th inning of Game 3 up 5-1, 3 innings away from pulling off that sweep that they so needed. But Lexington bats sprung to life, scoring 3 in the 7th and 4 in the 9th to win 8-5. Brutal waste of a Craig Stem good start. Craig Stem has only had like 3 good starts. That's not even trashing him. He's had a brutal go of it. We've talked about him before. Relies on the low pitch. He hasn't been getting it with the new strike zone, and he's just been trying to survive. He's had 3 real good starts this year. All of them, I think, have gone for no decisions or losses. I think he's 0-1 those 3. Legends escape High Point with a 7.5 game lead in the division. High Point likely missed their last chance to salvage the first half of this campaign. They're going to have to start to reload and look toward the second half. West Virginia at Gastonia. Lastly, the Power traveled to see the Honey Hunters in the battle between two teams who are just trying to get on track and position themselves for a second half run. Gastonia took game one 16-1. Brutal. West Virginia struck back in game two, winning 12-7, but the Honey Hunters were right back at it. 15-7 win. Those are three games where just the offenses were electric for one side. Even Gastonia looked good in game two. I will say game three wasn't even as close to the 15-7 looked because they dominated. Gastonia did rather. A 5-run 7th inning made things seem a little bit closer. I think it brought to maybe 10-7 or something like that. But this was mostly all Gastonia the whole time. Interesting note, Austin Glorious looked really good in that one for Gastonia. He's been way better since getting sent from the Blue Crabs to the Honey Hunters. Not sure what the deal is. 6.67 ERA in Southern Maryland, 3.12 ERA with the Honey Hunters. Control the zone seems to be a big difference here. Walking less than half the batters with Gastonia that he did with Southern Maryland, but he's also striking out less than half. I don't know what to make of that, man, but he's showing up. He's getting it done. It's good to see. Austin Glorious is a good pitcher, and he deserves to be doing well in this league. He put in the work, and I like to see that. Gastonia improves to 20-25. West Virginia falls to a league worst 18-27. They're really struggling right now. You can see just if you look at roster moves on the transaction site, they're just picking guys up, putting guys down, trying to make moves, trying to just plug and play, see what works for them. They're struggling here. First year for them in the Atlantic League. Give them some time. They should be fine. They're looking at all sorts of things. I think we're gonna see a little more from West Virginia next season. I know it's early to start talking about next season, but they're talking about a rebrand for next year. The first season, they're obviously going through the issues that a lot of new teams do. Just trying to find the right words. Getting the flow of the Atlantic League. Suddenly losing players, having to replace players, always your best players who are disappearing on you, and just learning the best way to go about things. I think I would not be surprised to see a retooled and refueled West Virginia team come through next year. These teams separate to play the interdivision games this week. The Barnstormers will try to cut into the Ducks' lead against the Rockers, who are really just trying to hang around the South Division at this point. Look for Niall Ball, Mendoza, and DiSabatino take the hill for Lancaster. Expect the Rockers to match them with Cooper Cassad, Ricky Knapp, and the Tommy Gun, Tommy Lawrence. I like that guy. We haven't talked about Tommy Lawrence much, but sick vibes off that guy. Like him a lot. When things slow down, we're going to come around and do a little Tommy Lawrence talk. York hopes to make the most of a home series against that struggling West Virginia Power team. This is key for the Revs now. They're 7.5 games out. They're gone for the first half. They ain't going to catch the Ducks at this rate. But they have a shot at a potential wildcard scenario in the second half. And don't sleep on this team. I came down on them for bad defense, came down on them for a couple things in the past here. But they got injured players who are returning. They're starting to find a rotation that they like, which was a real struggle for them early in the year here. And Nelly Rodriguez is back, which is key for them. This team could threaten for not just a wild card in the second half, but for a division title in the second half. Mark my words. Watch this York Revolution ball club moving forward. West Virginia, they're just plugging holes, as I said, hoping to stabilize for a second half turnaround at this point. York will likely throw Lopez, Duke Von Shaman, great name, and Austin Nicely. West Virginia, I don't even know, man. I think Sekula pitches maybe this week. It's been a little while since we've seen him, so I'd go Sekula. Probably Figueroa and Clark are available, so maybe that's what they'll go with. I don't know. I never know what West Virginia's going to throw out there at some point. They need to stabilize a little bit, get a regular rotation going. Southern Maryland, they're going to need to control Gastonia's explosive offense if they want to gain ground on Long Island late in the first half here, rather. The Blue Crabs, they're flirting with falling out of this first half race, so they're expected to hand the ball to Darryl Thompson, Mahoney, and maybe Barker or Bivens. I'm not sure what they're going to move to on that last spot. Gastonia, they're likely to throw Piguero, Kerwin, and Merkel. Actually, I think Thompson and Mahoney might be game 2, game 3 looking at it, so I'm not sure who's going to pitch game 1 at this point for Southern Maryland. Finally, division leaders are going to meet. This is the primetime action. You got the Ducks and the Legends. Ducks bring in their 6-game win streak to take on the best record in the league with the Lexington Legends. Good pitching matchups expected in this one. We're looking at Joe Iorio versus Henry Owens, Darren Downs versus J.J. Hoover, and Brendan Feldman versus Tyrell Harris, unless Liam O'Sullivan returns from the IL or either team does some sort of rotation shuffling, which, knowing these front offices, very competitive front offices, I know Lexington's got something to prove. They want to beat the Ducks to announce that they are here and they're not to be played with. I would not be surprised to see some sort of tinkering with rotation ahead of this series, trying to get the best lineup going. Beyond that, it's going to be a very entertaining week of baseball. I will be back with a daily Roundup Tuesday, and then I'm disappearing again, but not quite the same way. I'll be back at the beach. I know, living the life. I'll be spreading out pamphlets about how the sand should be pavement. Watch me. But I'll be back sitting on the unfortunately, Sandy Beach is most likely. Probably doing some live from the beach, quick hit daily roundups, because I don't want to disappear for this many days in a tight little period as the first half comes to an end. So keep an eye out for some sort of content from us. Still got a Josh Saleh interview to post. I was going to post it the other day before I left for the beach, but then the upload time was like 2 hours, and my wife gave me that look where it was like, oh, I'm going to die if we don't leave. So I'm still here, but obviously the interview didn't get posted. So that'll be going up, I would say, tonight. And then beyond that, we got good baseball to watch. The boys are electric right now, going at it. Any team can beat any other team any given day, except for the Ducks, because the Ducks don't lose, but now they're stuck playing the Legends. This is good Atlantic League action. Love to see it. First half coming down to it. I'm Ryan from AOPB Roundup. Enjoy your night. Day off today. Tuesday, we'll get some action. Wednesday, daily roundup, and we'll be good to go. Have a good one.